Yo, what's good, my fellow Magic Knights? It is your boy DEADMANVINCE back with yet another Black Clover mobile video. Hope everybody has been doing well today. Hope everybody has been enjoying the content, and I hope that everybody is enjoying Season 3. It has just kicked off like last night, basically. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out there, this Should You Summon video. And basically this Should You Summon video is just going to be a kit breakdown, talking about each one of the Black Bulls, how their kit works out, how well I think it would actually, work out for you in the game. And I feel like this is a perfect time right now to do this because the wiki has not released a rating on these characters just yet. And like, I kind of like to do things before that comes out because, I like to collect my own thoughts. Because, there's a difference in between coming here and there's no rating yet. You just have to fully, genuinely like take in all the information versus, you hop in and it already says SSS or some shit like that, right? But no. Let's just go ahead and get right into the video. We are going to start with Asta because he is the main character. So, Asta is going to be a tank and he is red, right? Every Asta that has released in the game thus far is red. But this Asta seems to be kind of like a direct replacement for the Asta that is the SR version, who is also a tank. Because the only other Asta we have is the DPS Asta. He is an attacker and mage. But yeah, let's look here. His skill 1 is a single target, and it's just 100% scaled off of attack. Not even magical attack is incorporated into there, which I think the other Astas might say attack and magical attack, even though he has no magical attack. Or it couldn't, I could just be mistaken. But it has a 60% chance to attack after dispelling one buff. Or no, I'm sorry, it's not the wiki's fault. The translations are a bit rough whenever you try to translate the stuff, so I'm pretty sure he's just taking it word for word. 60% chance to dispel a debuff, or dispel a buff from an enemy after attacking the enemy. And then if you get this all the way up to level 5, you have a 100% chance to take away a buff from the enemy whenever you do attack them. Skill 2 is going to be, and I'm not going to go like super deep into their skill pages just because you're not really guaranteed to get the skill pages. I'm going to go over. Skill 2 is going to be the Watermelon Crush. That's literally from the episodes like when they went to the beach for the underwater temple. So I was very glad to see that. I was like, yeah, they really are, keeping it real, keeping it 100 to the show, right? You know what I'm saying? But basically, the effect on this skill is going to be it transfers one debuff from all of your allies to yourself and then removes all the debuffs from yourself. That is, well, one, that's a very unique way of cleansing. I think that's really cool. Like, put everything on yourself and then just expel it, because Asta could literally do something like that, and maybe not do it something like that, but he literally can just dispel like debuffs, like in the series, right? He can dispel the effects of spells like after the fact, right? So if somebody gets hit with a poison spell, he can touch him with his third sword, and this isn't the third sword Asta, but still, he does have that capability at some point in the series, and they're kind of just implementing it a little early. And it looks like if you level up this skill, it's just going to boost the attack from 100% to 140%, so not too bad. He's not meant to do a lot of damage though because he is a debuffer. More so, the big appeal to this move is that he can take a debuff off of every ally and then remove all of them from himself. And if you get his skill page, upon removing a debuff, it grants himself an immortality buff. Now, I don't know that this immortality is going to be as impactful as Licht's immortality, because Licht is not a character meant for survival, whereas Asta is. So I feel he would just be in a lot less situations where he needs the immortality. Now, if you're fighting like some crazy high damage like boss and there's like multiple enemies to it, right? And honestly, this could be good for the new raid that they're going to be dropping, but imagine you're about to get hit by like 3 heavy hitters and you do have the immortality and you have like over half your health or some shit like that, and then you just get washed all the way down to like no health anymore. Then the immortality is going to be very important, and it's just really crazy that he can give himself this every single time he removes a debuff, which is going to be every time he takes debuffs from your allies. So as long as you're getting debuffed and you have his skill 2, you can get that immortality in for 1 turn. But yeah, I feel like the immortality is going to be a little more impactful on somebody like Licht because he's not supposed to be a defensive character. He's more of an offensive character. So you're already going to be building this Asta in a way where you want him to survive longer anyway. So this maybe could have been something else, but I don't think it's too bad. Maybe like passive like healing, overtime healing or something like that. I'm not too sure. Then his ultimate is going to be a single target, and just, yes, this Asta is complete single target character. So I can't even say that the SR Asta is better in that regard, because the SR Asta does have 2 AoE attacks, or technically 3. He has his combo skill, he has his special skill, and then he has his skill 2, and they really don't do that much damage. But at the very least, you know, this Asta's a lot better because he is a tank and he's trying to be a tank. The other Asta, he's a tank, but it feels like they want him to be a little more well-rounded. I don't know. But 80% chance to inflict taunt on a designated enemy for 2 turns. So whoever you aim at, you're inflicting taunt. And then you have a 25% chance to inflict taunt on all enemies. If you get this skill to level 2, it's just a 100% chance to taunt the enemy you aim at. And if you can get this skill all the way up to level 5, it's going to give you an additional 9% to this effect right here. So then you're going to get a 34% chance to inflict taunt on all enemies for 2 turns, which that's not too bad. Basically a 1 in 3 chance, that's not too bad, right? Then we go to his combined attack. Performs a combined attack with your partner, dealing 1 damage, dealing damage to an enemy. 55% chance to inflict stun on an enemy for 1 turn. That's pretty good. I feel like the stun is pretty solid. And if you get this skill up to level 5, you will get 20% more on the stun chance. So a 75% chance to stun is pretty massive, I feel like. And if you get the level 5, you also get 10% more to the skill's attack, which is only 75 or 65% starting out, but it can get to 75%. Damage, once again, is not this character's main focus. For each active taunt an enemy is inflicted with, grants 3% damage reduction. Oh, so I didn't see this before. Now, this passive right here is going to come from the stars. So essentially, if you get this Asta 5 star, you're probably going to be getting 6% reduced damage for each enemy that has taunt. So say you're fighting a room of 4 enemies and all four of them get taunted, then you're going to be getting an extra 24% damage reduction whenever they hit you. So I don't think Asta really is that bad. At the start of battle, grants all allies status change immunity for 1 turn. Or status change? Like, is that like mutation or DOT? But it negates something at the start for 1 turn at the start of the battle, right? For all allies, not even just himself. Now that I'm reading through this Asta, and I'm going to switch over to a skill page while I like collect my thoughts, but I actually think this Asta sounds pretty good. Like, as a tank, like, considering the red tanks we have so far is literally just SR Asta, and then we have Veto, who is a selfish tank. I feel like Asta is way better because he is giving, like the team a lot of benefits versus just himself. For each debuff removed, grants 5 to 10% maximum HP as HP recovery. So, not only on this skill is he getting, wow, so what I said when I was like, I probably want some passive healing or something like that. Nah, with a skill page, you do get that. So you get the 5% healing on a level 1 skill page and 10% healing on a level 6 skill page. So 10% healing for every debuff removed. Bro, if you take like debuffs from all your team and you have 4 debuffs on yourself, including like he already had 1 or something like that, and then he dispels all those debuffs, he's going to be getting, if you have his skill page maxed out, 40% HP back. And even if you don't have it maxed out, 20% of his HP back, on top of the fact that he has immortality. I think Asta actually sounds like a pretty like crazy tank. Now that I'm actually like looking at him fully, because you know when I first looked at him, I was like, oh, I don't know. We already have a red tank. We already have so many different tanks, but like nah. Now that I'm looking at this Asta for real, I like this Asta. You always balancing your team like a certain way, like where you want to support your attackers enough to where they can just do enough damage to burn through enemies fast enough, or you build it in a way where you know your tank is like sufficient enough that like they can eat all the damage and nobody else is getting hit because they're really good at pulling aggro. I feel like this Asta is going to be pretty good at pulling aggro, and I also feel like he's going to be like have a lot of survivability to him. I think the way that Asta's kit is like set up beats out Veto shit, especially because while incorporating this healing and immortality into Asta's kit, they are still getting Asta to give buffs to his team as well. So I think Asta's a solid character. Now for PvP, he could be very overwhelming in PvP. I feel like, especially with the constant healing, but he doesn't do damage, so you know his constant healing is going to keep him alive. But there's so much his like extra buffs do for your team. So PvE is where, because I always think about these mages in a PvE aspect, because PvE is the more important of the two. Like, you know, you always have to farm, you always have to do the new raids and stuff like that. So I'm always minded towards PvE. Plus the story, you have to progress in the story, you have to level up, and you don't level up off of doing PvP, right? So plus PvP is against bots, so I never like really take PvP seriously. Plus y'all know I'm doing that mission right now to just lose in PvP over and over again until the mission's done and I can just never lose again. But let's go ahead and jump over to, I believe Vanessa is who I have next up. So Vanessa is going to be a green attacker. I remember before her coming out, I was talking about how I think that green could use more attackers just to kind of like diversify amongst the attackers that they have, because I know that man Raya, his skill set is cool, but like if your enemies, like if you're doing like farming stage and stuff like that, if your enemies aren't buffing themselves, then like he's not going to be as effective. And if you don't have a support on the team to buff him up, like Raya requires some things, right? Lick just hits hard, but like, you know, Vanessa looks to have like a tiny bit of utility within her kit as well, or maybe not a little bit of utility, but let's just look and see what I'm talking about here. Inflicts bleed on an enemy, dealing continuous damage for 2 turns. This is 100% of attack and magical attack. This is a single target skill. This is her basic skill. It says skill 2. There's just a typo on the wiki. If you can get the skill to level 5, you're just gonna boost the damage up to 120% versus 100%. The bleed is still gonna do the same, you know. Skill 2, Love Smash. I'm starting to like how they're putting like a lot of thought to these names and everything, but Love Smash. It's 150% attack and magical attack. It grants herself Blessing of Protection for 1 turn. Blessing of Protection is when damage is blocked, restore HP by 8% of maximum HP. Then if you have her skill page, she grants herself debuff immunity for 2 turns. So like, blocks debuffs while the duration of the effect is active. So if somebody tries to debuff you, I'm pretty sure that's why it says block sometimes. When you're supposed to get debuffed, but you have some sort of effect that blocks that debuff out and people can't debuff you, that's when you're like blocking something. It's literally whenever you get attacked, sometimes you'll see over your head it says blocked. And sometimes I'll see that like when a mage has a shield. So like I use Vanessa with a character that gives shields and see how that works for you. Because if she blocks the damage technically, right, then she's going to be healing 8% HP without actually like taking any damage. Obviously if your shield is big enough, but I think that's a pretty cool little effect. Now I'm starting already, I don't know though, because she is a DPS and they're somewhat trying to like make sure she has self-sustain, and like, yes, I know the DPSs are kind of squishy, but like DPS, I feel like a good DPS supports their entire team along with themselves, not just themselves, right? Selfish characters don't always do the best versus like, you know, team-oriented characters. Because like, look at Noelle. She's a DPS, but she has incredible damage. She has AoEs. These first 2 skills that I read are single target. And she also gives like a shield to the team. She gives a counterattack to somebody on the team of your choice. Like, it's just a different, it hits differently, right? But if you get this skill maxed out, it's going to go from 150% to 190% on attack and magical attack. Let's go down to her ultimate. Now her ultimate is her only AoE. I did see this earlier and I do like this. Her ultimate is 50% chance to silence enemies for 2 turns. So for 2 turns, you cannot use skills except for skill 1. I just like this a lot because it's a 2-turn silence and not a 1-turn silence. It only is a 50% chance though, and unfortunately you cannot boost the chance of the silence happening with the ultimate right here. But like, just imagine that you are doing a mission where you do get the silence off of somebody and like the entire enemy team at that, right? And then they're only able to do their skill 1, no special skills, no extra big damage moves or anything like that. So I do like that. I feel like Vanessa, they wanted to maybe go like the debuffer route with her, but they were like, nah, let's make her an attacker. And I feel like she's like a debuffing attacker or like a control attacker, right? So not quite on the control level of like Lotus, obviously, because he is literally a debuffer, but like enough control to where like you can't just like instantly like DOT her out. She's gonna be giving herself a little bit of HP back, so she's gonna last a little longer, and she can silence you. I think Vanessa's interesting. Do I think she's 100% worth the summon? I don't know that I can recommend that, but I'll give you my full like thought altogether and how I think you should like approach this banner, right? Her combined attack is going to be if an enemy is inflicted with a debuff, attacks after granting 30% increased damage. Now, this right here is pretty good. The only issue is that this is the combo skill, and this is taken away from the time that you can use her ultimate skill to silence the entire enemy team. So, this one, I feel like it's like a double-edged sword. Like, yes, extra damage is good, but 2, it's just like, do I want to not silence everybody? And it's only a 50% chance, so, you know, do what you will with that. Skill attack and magic attack goes up by 20% if you get this up to level 5, so it's going to be 85% on both instead of 20 or 65%. Then also you can increase the damage that you increase your own damage by 50% instead of 30%, right? So then it would be and it's a single target also. She has a lot of single targets. I'm not a big fan of characters that have like mainly single targets, and she's basically an all single target character. Obviously her ultimate is an AoE, but it's not something that you can do so often, so I basically consider her like a single target character. But you know, for a single target character, maybe her stats will be good enough to like actually like burn motherfuckers out with damage. I'm actually kind of curious for this now, because like all you gotta do is bleed somebody, give her like a speed boost, get the turn back around to her, and then hit with this, and then like see how much that 50% extra damage is really doing, especially if you link her up with a mage that can buff her before she attacks. Her passive is, if damage resistance is equal to 205 or higher, grants 3% increase in damage dealt. If damage resistance is equal to 270 or higher, increases damage dealt by 5%. Now, I think that these stack together. I don't think it's like a, oh, you get the 5% or the 3%. No, I think it's, if you get her to 270, you're getting both of these. Because it's not saying or, it just keeps stacking this on, right? Then right here it says if damage resistance is equal to 310 or higher, grants 10% increased damage dealt. So altogether that'll be 18% if you can get her resistance to 310 or higher. And the nice thing is that there are like mages in the game that you can use to just like buff her and give her like extra damage resistance, right? That is a thing that can be buffed. You can boost it by a percentage, and who knows, right? Also, I just want to go ahead and say that I like how her passive is kind of constructed, because I'm gonna go ahead and just spoil it for you. Her damage resistance off rip is 231 once you get her like the level 100, and that's not adding any extra things to it. Now, unfortunately, there is not a damage resistance like gear set that you can do. There is like endurance, but that's not quite the same thing. But you can actually just get damage resistance as a substat on some of your gear and make that go up even higher. Also, she has a pretty solid accuracy, so that 50% chance, you know, could be influenced by this right here. But her unique passive, this is when she gets the LR. At the start of a wave, grants protection to an ally with the lowest speed for 2 turns, and then you cannot be selected as a target of attack. That's good because slow characters sometimes can get damaged out before they take their turn. If she gives the slowest mage protection for 2 turns, they will survive those 2 turns, and if they have something big on the way, then you can get it out like basically guaranteed at that point. Also, I'm not sure how this skill looks once you get it. Actually, I can just look in my game real quick because I have Vanessa already. So, fun fact, while I'm getting this pulled up and taking a look, essentially, I did 1 rotation on the banner. I pulled Vanessa, Charmy, and Asta skill pages, and then I pulled Vanessa twice, and I pulled Asta from the pity. So I am done after the first rotation, and I'm almost to Vanessa here, so I can see her 5-star ability versus her 2-star ability. So the 5-star, it looks like... Come on, there we go. Sometimes my screen don't want to be responsive. 205, 3%, 270 gets you 5%, and then, oh, it won't even let me scroll through the whole skill. Okay, well, whatever. So, oh, it changes so that it's like, if your damage resistance is 230, which her base is 231, if your damage resistance is 230, 8% increased damage dealt. If it is 310, you can get 15% increase in damage dealt, and then if it's 350, you get 35% damage dealt. Okay, so a 5-star Vanessa actually sounds kind of wonky. Also, I forgot to mention the fact that the Awakening Stars also boost specific stats for you, and Vanessa, I'm already looking right here, like to get her 1 star would give her like extra actually all of her stars give her an extra damage resistance and magical attack. So if you can get Vanessa 5-starred, that's gonna be a little crazy, because it looks like it goes up 6. And don't quote me on this, because it could not be changing because I'm stuck at the 1-star level, right? But I think it's gonna give you 6% damage resistance per star that you get. So that will give you an extra 30% damage resistance on top of the 231 she already has, which will put her at like 261, right? So that's a little crazy. So maybe I was sleeping on Vanessa because of that damage resistance, but even still, that's after you 5-star her, so that is a bit sweatier of a quest to actually achieve. Let's go ahead and take a look at her skill page though. Beach Prank grants 15% increased magic attack for 1 turn when damage resistance is triggered, or if you get it to level 6, increases magical attack by 30% for 1 turn when damage resistance is triggered. Okay. So it seems like damage resistance is a little, maybe damage resistance looks a little more OP than I thought, because not only does she get extra increase in damage for her damage resistance, but it seems that damage resistance is something that can be triggered like during the turn, and it can actually proc extra effects. So if you can get her built out properly around that damage resistance, Vanessa is probably going to be ridiculous DPS, which is crazy because Noelle came out, she dominated the game, Kyato came out, he can kind of dominate her, and now Vanessa's out, and if you build her damage resistance properly, then it looks like she can probably just burn that man Kyato out. So it feels like rock, paper, scissors right now, especially because there's literally only 3 characters in the game. But like, it's very early on. I feel like this will evolve a bit more in the future, and it won't feel so rock, paper, scissors, but more so just a matter of what team are you crafting to make these units work and make these units survive so that other units don't die, right? Because it's like, yes, you can have one unit that can burn another unit, but then what are you doing about the other 3 units on the team that have a possibility to be able to burn that unit, right? You can't just focus one unit. You got to have a team that's like all-arounder type of deal. Like right now, I feel like it's kind of hard to determine what team is absolutely the best team. But Vanessa, now that I fully read through it, it's like I'm always kind of like iffy at first, but like the seasonal characters are never like bad, right? They expect you to summon like fully and get them all, so you know they're always like decent at the very least, I feel like, and some of them are just a little better than others. But let's go ahead and hop over to Charmy, and then I'll give you my full thoughts after that on whether you should be summoning or not. So Charmy is going to be a blue healer, and honestly I was a little confused that Charmy was a blue healer because they just released Kahono, who is a blue healer, and Kahono is actually like really great, and she scales off of her HP. So it just depends, does Charmy scale off of HP or does Charmy scale off of magical attack? But we're about to see here. I think maybe they're flooding, like, I think since they didn't have any SSR blue healers, like 2 back-to-back is a little intense, but at the same time we didn't have any, so it's okay, I guess. Skill 1. It is a single target skill. Grants the ally with the lowest HP continuous HP recovery equal to 6% of their maximum HP for 2 turns. So with what's her name? With Kahono, it was 4% HP recovery for 4 turns, which adds up to 16% altogether. But with Charmy, it is 6% HP recovery for 2 turns, which adds up to 12%. But also, you got to think about the fact that if you get this skill to level 5, the HP recovery is going to be going up by a total of another 6%. So you're gonna have 12% for 2 turns, which is 24% HP recovered altogether. And Kahono's was from level 4 or from 4% to 8% over 4 turns. So Kahono's is 32%. It lasts a little bit longer. So already maybe Kahono's a little better on the healing front, but at the same time, she has a 45% chance to grant recovered ally increase special points for 1 turn. So I don't remember Kahono's skill 1 having the ability to increase your special points. So that right there is actually pretty good. So a healer with a little utility on her already is what I'm seeing from this set. And I'm not really, if it's not a character that is not a attacker, then or a debuffer even, I basically just don't even like really look too hard at the attack, because it's just like they're not meant for that. Skill 2. Skill 2. Grants all allies continuous HP recovery for 4.5% of maximum HP for 2 turns. If you get that to level 5, it's going to be 7.5 or no, 10.5% max HP recovery for 2 turns. So that's pretty solid. I like this effect. You know, continuous HP recovery on everyone. So right here, they already just like brought Charmy back up in the race for me, and she also dispels damage over time once on all allies. So that's pretty good. If we get her skill page, then grants all allies increased crit damage resistance level 3 for 2 turns. So if an ally gets crit, they're not going to be taking that much damage. That's pretty good, because I don't think that they have mages just yet that have like super duper high crit resistance. Also, let's go down to her next skill. I didn't mean to say also. That sounded like I was going to say something else tacked onto that skill, but let's go down to the next skill. Special skill. Grants all allies continuous HP recovery of 10% of maximum HP for 2 turns. And if you can get this skill to level 5, wow, 20%? 20%? Oh, what? Continuous HP recovery of 20% to all allies for 2 turns. So 40% HP recovery on all allies over the course of 2 turns. And I like it when the heals are spread out like that better. So that sounds very appealing to me. Grants all allies increased defense level 3 for 2 turns. And increased defense level 3 is going to be 175%. Oh. And then a 45% chance to grant all allies increased special points for 1 turn. Yo. I hadn't even looked over Charmy's attack, but I had already in my mind figured that Charmy was going to be a no-brainer just because she was another blue SSR healer. And I was like, yo, if they're releasing her and they just released Kahono, who scales off of HP versus magical attack, then automatically I was just like, yeah, bro, this has got to be a HP like scaling healer right? Because I'm pretty sure this HP continuous buff is gonna be like 10% of Charmy's HP, not of like the allies' HP. Because I'm pretty sure, like, if you look at Kahono's skill specifically, I'm pretty sure it says on this skill right here, 4% of the allies' maximum HP. And honestly, let me pull that up real quick. Yes, right here, specifically, Kahono says grants the ally with the lowest HP continuous HP recovery equal to 4% of their maximum HP for 4 turns, versus Charmy's grants an ally with the lowest HP continuous grants the ally with the lowest HP continuous HP recovery equal to 6% of max HP for 2 turns. So this means 6% of Charmy's maximum HP. And I also need to look at Charmy's HP compared to Kahono's HP, because if it's higher, yeah, Charmy's gonna be a menace. Like, Charmy has better healing in the short term. It's higher healing, but that's because it's like less turns that it lasts for, right? It's half the turns that it lasts for, so they want to give you a more impactful heal. Her combo skill is gonna be grants increased magic attack level 5 to partner mage's attack, and 50% chance to grant partner increase special. Okay, Charmy has special points increase riddled throughout her kit. If you get this skill to level 5, it's going to give her an 80% chance to give them a special skill increase, and gives them 2 special points instead of fucking 1 special point. Jeez. And the wiki didn't even put down what magic attack level 5 increase is. I don't have Charmy just yet, so I can't look in my account, because I'm getting Charmy from the Gate of Destiny. Unless they will. No. Yeah. Let me go to the banner real quick, because I'm pretty sure I can just see it right there. But Charmy honestly sounds like a better healer than Kahono to me. So I already was speculating that people were going to be ending up choosing Charmy instead of Kahono, or not Charmy, or instead of Kahono. I had already speculated that people were. So that's, wow, a level 5 magic attack increase doubles your magical attack. A 100% buff to your magical attack, bro. So you're gonna boost somebody's magical attack by 100%. Honestly, her with Vanessa, honestly, the seasonal characters sound like they work really well together, right? It feels like they try to focus you on like single color teams, but nah, these seasonal characters that come out more and more, I feel like are trying to influence using like rainbow teams, right? Passive, and this is from the stars. When an ally's turn ends, grants 3% of maximum HP as HP recovery to the ally with the lowest HP. What? So if an ally's turn ends, not the ally with the lowest HP, any ally, at the end of their turn, Charmy will be giving an extra 3% of her maximum HP as HP recovery to the ally with the lowest HP. Oh, dude, Charmy is a banger. Charmy's a banger, bro. And this probably goes up to 6% right here on the 5-star effect. Now, I can't look at the 5-star effect right here just because I don't have Charmy yet. I have to get her from the Gate of Destiny, and I refuse to keep summoning for her. Her unique passive is going to be, it increases her maximum HP by 10%, which I'm pretty sure that's the same for Kahono. But Charmy's HP, oh, Charmy's HP is like 4,000 or 5,000 points higher than Kahono. Hold on, let's look at their stats. Yeah, so to put that in perspective, Kahono's HP is like 7,000 lower, literally 7,036 points lower than Kahono's, or than Charmy's. Now, that sounds like not that big of a jump, but low-key, that's massive. Charmy's attack is lower, but no one cares about attack. Charmy's magical attack is lower, but once again, no one cares about attack. Charmy's defense is higher, so she's better than Kahono in that regard, and their speed is the same, so they would be getting about the same amount of like turns of stamina ramp like as each other, right? So Charmy actually sounds kind of like a no-brainer. Let's look at Charmy's skill page, and then we will talk about if you should summon, and you can probably already take a big guess as to what I'm going to say now that I'm talking about Charmy here. So the extra passive that Charmy gets from her skill page is grants 10% reduced damage taken if HP is equal to 90% or higher. Bruh. Charmy is constantly healing everybody. Her HP is always gonna be this. Especially if you have a tank, a good tank, or if you use her with Noelle, and you literally get, bro, Charmy's ridiculous. 25% damage reduced. If you have 90% HP or higher, yeah, Charmy's a no-brainer. Guys, should you summon? Honestly, you might be able to just do the Gate of Destiny for Charmy. I think Asta and Vanessa are really cool, but Charmy takes the cake. So actually, don't summon. Don't. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I know I changed my mind there, but I just wanted to go through these emotions and I wanted to fully fill this out. Now that I'm really thinking about it with Julius coming up, because Julius, we think he's going to be a debuffer, but we don't know his exact class just yet. But whether Julius, we know for a fact Julius is not going to be a guardian, he's not going to be a healer. Julius is either going to be a debuffer support or attacker, and realistically, he's going to be doing big damage. It's Julius. He's a festival or a different banner format. So I say get Charmy from the Gate of Destiny, don't summon. Get this man Julius instead, because Charmy, I feel like, is all you need. If you're gonna be doing the battle pass, even if you're a sweat, maybe not chase these guys, because you know I am somebody who summons and gets every character in every skill page when they drop. My summons, you can check them out. I'll link them somewhere, but literally I got blessed in one rotation. I got everything I need except for Charmy, and Charmy's just coming from the Gate of Destiny. So as a whale that spins on this and make sure I get every character, bro, last season I will let you know I had to go 4 rotations deep on that banner to get everything from that banner. So if you're not chasing that collection, I don't know that I can recommend the summon. I would say get Charmy from Gate of Destiny, get Julius later on. But that is like my full opinion on it. You guys enjoy yourselves, enjoy season 3, enjoy all the new content and all that, man. I gotta make videos on that new content actually, but I hope you guys are enjoying the game. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, I guess, I don't know, but that's gonna be it for your boy DeadmanVince. You guys have a good one. Charmy's a god.